origins of Audemars Piguet date back to 1875 in Switzerland. The company produced 1,200 timepieces from 1894 to 1899, and from then on steadily grew to become more famous and has become the #1 watch brand in China. So what's so special about Audemars Piguet timepieces? Join us for an exclusive interview with Francois Bennahmias, the president of Audemars Piguet.
So 大家好，我是 Francois Bennahmias, and I'm the general manager for Audemars Piguet. So I started with Audemars Piguet in 1994, 18 years ago, in Paris, after working 7 years in the fashion business. And I got the position of general manager in France, and I stayed there for a year and a half, then moved to Switzerland for 3 years, lived in Singapore for 1 year, and then finally came here in 1999 in the United States, where I've been for 13 years being the CEO. And I've been here in the United States since 1999 to run the company. And I've just been appointed CEO ad interim for Audemars Piguet Worldwide in May. Yes, actually a few of them. The first one was, I didn't know much about watches because I was working in the fashion business. And I had to learn the entire collection and all the complicated watches and all the mechanisms and everything, and I didn't know much about it. So it took me 6 months to really get into it, but I was still meeting customers and retailers on the first weeks. So I had to sort of play things like I know a little bit what I'm talking about without knowing too much. So it was a bit of a poker game sometimes where people were asking you questions and you were supposed to answer these questions, not knowing exactly if you would be right. But 6 months later it was much better, and I started to do the right things. And the last one is here in the United States. When I came in 1999, I got a chance to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he helped us big time actually to start to generate some awareness for the brand here, where we supported his foundation, his charity over the course of many, many years. And still today, we are actually supporting his foundation.
That sounds amazing. Like, which fashion industry that you work with?
I was working for brands like Giorgio Armani or Gianfranco Ferré. So Italian brands that I was working for the French market.
Nice. So how did that bring you to AP? What kind of opportunity that brought you from a fashion business to a luxury watch?
A completely different mindset as far as, because fashion is a very active world. It changes every season. You've got 2, eventually 4 different seasons through a year, when in the watch world you launch a watch and the watch could last for 5-10 years. So it's a lot slower in the watch world compared to the fashion business. But the fashion business gave me all this opportunity to think out of the box and not to always respect what has to be done in the watch world and go sometimes against the trends and do things differently. That actually made us very successful.
Compare so many luxury watch brands, right? Why should I go for AP? Can you give me any?
Very simple. If you are a person that wants a difference, that wants something that nobody else has, that respects true quality and craftsmanship, and that want to set herself out of the box, that's us. Strong character, very willing people, and you've got something that basically is known by very few. When you put it on your wrist, very few people will notice that it's an Audemars Piguet watch, but suddenly when you will have other people knowing it about it, there will be connections made in 2 seconds that are pretty exceptional. That's a bit who we are. It's not for everybody. The purpose is not to be sold to everybody, but it's that special, it's not even a club because we are much more, it's a family. We are a family-owned company. It's the last actually company in the hands of the founding families. The chairman of the board is a woman. Actually, she's in charge of that company. She's a great granddaughter of the founder. And the fact that we're still a family-owned company gives that feeling also to the people who are buying our watches. We welcome them to the family.
So what do you think about the AP could bring to Chinese potential customers? What kind of essential, what kind of things that are the best?
Again, a completely different set of mind. A lot of watch companies respect a sort of very classical trends. You know, they make their own watches with their hands, 2 hands, just a date. They make it very simple. at Audemars Piguet, we always try to do things differently. And I think that China is booming, like it's crazy economically, it's unbelievable what's going on there. And you see a young generation accessing to everything and say, you know what, now I don't want to be like everybody else. I really want to stand on my own and be my own person. And I'm going to try to look in different ways, whether it's in fashion or in watches, what watch, what particular thing talks to me, and especially me. Not like, I don't want to be like a follower. I want to be a trendsetter. I want to be before the others. And then this is where Audemars Piguet gets in easily, actually. We start at 10,000, pretty much, and we go up to wherever you want it to be. But the most expensive watch that we sell without a diamond on it is in the $1 million range. And there's not a diamond on the watch. It's because of the complexity of the mechanism and the uniqueness of the watch itself. We also have a lot of watches with diamonds, obviously. We are the first brand ever actually to even put diamonds on the hands of the watches, which is pretty cool, which is pretty difficult because when you put some weight on the hands, then the hands have got difficulties to move the normal way. So we had to find a smart way of doing it, and we're the first brand to do it in the 70s. And we're still doing it today. We make 33,000 watches a year for the world. 33,000 watches a year for the world, so it's a very small number when you think about it. This year we'll sell roughly between China and Hong Kong, we'll sell 7,000 watches. Okay, so it's still very, very exclusive. What I have to say, what's very interesting is recently there was a survey made in China of what was the number one watch, looked at by a lot of people with money, and we came first with actually that specific watch called the Rilo. Not the exact same one, but that shape. So we came number one in the surveys, okay, in China, which was for us pretty rewarding when you think about it, because we have not been in China for a long time. The thing is, when the young generation looks at our company, and they look also at all these fashion brands, and they also look at Audemars Piguet now together, say, you know what? Yes, I can wear a Brioni suit or a Tom Ford suit, and then if I go with Audemars Piguet now, it's going to be the perfect fit, which is what they want.
So, like I know AP have so many collections and series. So, what's your favorite besides the one you wear?
I would say the Millenary collection, which is the oval shape with a new mechanism that instead of putting it the normal way, we put it completely reversed, so it's upside down. And we've launched the watch at the end of 2011, and the watch actually sells extremely well. So I've got one as well, and hopefully it's going to be successful in China.
The Millenary 4101 collection is characterized by its unique oval shape, its off-centered dials, and the combination of sharp lines and sensual curves. At the core of its design is the staging of its caliber, which reveals the balance wheel that transmits the heartbeat of this timepiece. The creation of the Millenary 4101 symbolizes the alliance between horological savoir-faire and design.